It has been nearly 10 months. But now, we are finally ready to return. And we are at one of the craziest places we could possibly have a race. Buckle up tight, 'cause it's time for the SmoothFest.
And when I was dead, you gave me new life. I'm lifting you up with all of my might. I don't care who's to the left, to the right, you're all that's on my mind. Don't really care what they say, what they think, I feel so alive. I'm unashamed, I'm wide awake. Not gonna hide, can't deny, you're my everything. Here's to the free, who still believe. You're the star of the show that we came to see. With all my heart, all my life, gonna live it loud. I wanna make you famous. Light up your name, let it shine, never burning out. I wanna make you famous.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and after almost 10 months of waiting, the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series has returned. We are here for season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and this is going to be the biggest season yet. We are here at the Daytona International Speedway for our own little version of the Clash. It's the Mello Yello SmoothFest, a 20-lap race around this 2.5-mile super speedway oval in Daytona Beach, Florida. And this season, we got some old faces in new places. And starting on the pole, that is Garrett Sinor, who is still with the Roush Fenway organization. But this number 16 does not exist anymore in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, so therefore it does not exist here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series for this season. So Garrett Sinor moving over to the number 6, and the all-time winningest driver on Napa Fan is going to lead us off here for season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. But something very special that I would love to point out here is the guy who drove that number 6 last season, Caleb Hoffman. At the end of this season, he will be retiring from racing here on Napa Fan. He's a fantastic friend of mine, and even a better driver here on this channel. Now, he's never gotten the championship yet, but he is going to have one final season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, driving the car that's starting right behind the number 6, the number 14, driven by Caleb Hoffman this season. And it's going to be a fun ride to see what Hoffman does here in his final season of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Anyways, in today's race, we have 19 drivers in the field. This is the smallest field ever for the Mello SmoothFest, and if you do not understand the criteria for this race, all you have to do to be in this race is to have raced in the previous season and the current season. And these 19 drivers all drove in season number 5 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, the latest season of the series, which means if we only have 19 guys, that means we have quite a few rookies in the field. Over half of the, actually exactly half of the field are rookies this season. Now, none of those rookies are racing here today. It's just the veteran drivers. But we will see those rookies on Wednesday for Daytona 500 qualifying. So watch out for those names to be made later on in the season. But anyways, last race before we introduce the rookies. And these veteran drivers are here at the Daytona International Speedway to duke it out for the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Now, here is another very interesting fact. None of the drivers in this field have ever won this race. None of them. The four drivers who have won this race are Eric Powers, Raja Karuth, Andy Thomas, and Eric Heiden. None of those drivers are racing this season, and we're going to get a new winner here in this race to open out season number 6. Anyways, I've talked long enough. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off. Here is the command to start the engines from the Daytona International Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines.
And a great command there. These guys are going to roll off. And season number 6 is finally here. On the front row for today's Mello Yello SmoothFest, it's the all-time winningest driver on Napa Fan, the number 6 of Garrett Senor. He is also tied the all-time winningest driver in the series with 6 career points-paying wins. He starts alongside the number 2 of Tristan Allen, and we will reset the field here so that Matt Dallio in the number 88 can start the race, but we will get through the starting lineup first. Tristan Allen has never won a race before in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, but he would love to do so this season. He's got a great shot in the number 2 for Penske Racing, and let's have to see what he does. Number 14 of Caleb Hoffman. We're going to be talking a lot about Hoffman this season because it's his final season, and he's going to be retiring just like Tyler Selzman retired last year here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, driving the number 14 in season number 6, and it's going to be a very special season for that driver right there. Alongside Caleb Hoffman, Marty Johnson driving full-time for Go Fast Racing in the number 32. It's the first ever winner on Napa Fan, the first ever winner in this series, the only Daytona 500 champion driving this season. Jesse Turner in the number 43, the only guy who got an automatic reserve for this season because he won last year's All-Star race. He's back in that old-fashioned number 43. That's his ride, and he is going to see what he can do this season, possibly get his first points wins in Season 2. And number 43, Jesse Turner, ready to get this one started. Blaine Keys in number 48 has never won before in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series like Tristan Allen. He starts alongside Jesse Turner. And we got Trey Bartow, the only driver to race his same number for every single season of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, driving the number 4. Ryan Madden starting alongside him. Then it's Zachary Fitzwater and Reagan Whitlock in row number 5. Let's go ahead, reset it so that Matt Dallio in the number 88 can start this race. And we are ready to get this one started. All 19 drivers starting in this race, ready to go. For season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, it's the Mello Yello SmoothFest. And no points are on the line, and it's just for bragging rights. The green flag is out, Garrett Senor leads under the green flag, and season 6 has begun here at the Daytona International Speedway. The number 6 of Garrett Senor will lead the first lap of action here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. It's Tristan Allen and Caleb Hoffman side by side for the second position, and Jesse Turner trying to peek 3 wide to the inside for that second place. And Jesse Turner, number 43, like I said, he hasn't won a points-paying race in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series in season number 2. Now, this isn't a points-paying race, but he does good in these non-points events. Last year, he won the Mello Yello Duel and the Chick-Fil-A All-Star Race, so he knows how to get it done when the points are not on the line. He's going to try to get a run to the inside of Garrett Senor, Caleb Hoffman in the middle of all this, and you got Trey Bartow in the number 4. Like I said, Trey Bartow is the only driver to have driven the same number in all 6 seasons of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Since this series began, that guy's been driving that number 4 machine for Stewart Haas Racing. Another thing, we have owners this season. Luke Rainey, the Indianapolis 250 champion, is the owner of Roush Fenway Racing. The only car for Roush Fenway Racing in this race is Garrett Senor. And so far, Garrett Senor has led every single lap here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Jesse Turner having a little bit of trouble there on that inside lane, trying to get at the stick. Not really able to do so right now. We got a smaller field here at Daytona, and that is definitely affecting these guys. It is hard to pass when the field is smaller. Only 19 guys in the field. We're going to be racing on Saturday for the Daytona 500. There's going to be 40 guys in the field. And there you go. Caleb Hoffman to the inside of Garrett Senor in his final ever Mello Yello SmoothFest. Caleb Hoffman trying to take the lead away from Garrett Senor on lap 4 of the race. On this inside lane, it's the championship runner-up from last season and the Season 4 champion of this series, Matt Dalio in the number 88. And that's his usual ride right there in the number 88. Matt Dalio, definitely a fantastic driver. Almost won the championship here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series 2 seasons in a row, but he could not beat out Tyler Selzman. And if you're wondering where Tyler Selzman is, he retired after the end of Season 5, so there is no defending champion racing anymore. And all these drivers are trying to get the championship here for season number 6. Of course, right now they're trying to get the win here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest, but when that green flag flies at Daytona, they're going to be trying to get that win so they can get into the chase. Yes, we are still going to call it the chase here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, by the way, and get that championship. Of course, Jesse Turner and Matt Dalio, they are both past champions of this series. Jesse Turner, the Season 2 champion of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Matt Dalio, like I said, the Season 4 champion. Noah Cars in the number 3. He has never won before on Napa Fan. Here he is on the inside lane in the number 3 with a great chance of winning this Mello Yello SmoothFest. Take a look at some other drivers in the field. Zachary Fitzwater in the 41 there in the middle. There is Hairgel Arvin Alonso in the number 10. He won his first career Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race at Talladega last season. Stuart Gratton, who had a fantastic season number 5 in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. He's on this inside lane right now. Matt Tuck also grabbed his first career victory last season. Got Elijah Gordon driving the number 5. The number 24 is driven by John Art, who won the 500th race on Napa Fan right here. Eric Allmenard, even though he's a part-time driver this season, he's going to be driving the number 15. And he drove the number 10 last season, so he is a returning driver. Also got Reagan Whitlock, Ryan Madden there on the outside lane. And the number 47, the Season 3 Chick-Fil-A Cup Series champion, Cameron Garlington. Those are the drivers here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest for season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Hard to believe we're already at the 6th season of this series, but it's going to be a great season. And we got a great race running up front right now. Noah Cars has taken the lead in the number 3 with help from Hairgel Arvin Alonso. And Alonso in the number 10 trying to get a win in this number 10 machine. They might go 4 wide. They're not going to do so. Stuart Gratton almost pushed Matt Dalio and Jesse Turner up the racetrack. Fortunately for those 6 season veterans of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, they did not do so. All 3 of those guys have driven in every single season of this series. Here comes Matt Tuck in the number 42. He drove in the Haas IndyCar Series with minor success. Same with Stuart Gratton. Neither of those guys won a race in the Haas IndyCar Series, but I'm expecting some better success out of these guys here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series season number 6. There goes Stuart Gratton to the inside of Hairgel Arvin Alonso for the lead. Elijah Gordon in the number 5. If you remember season number 5 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, he was driving the number 24. It was a very dismal season for him. He wants to turn that all around. He has not won since season number 4 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series in the first Talladega race. That's his only Chick-Fil-A Cup Series win. But I'm looking for some success out of that number 5 team this season here in season number 6. Lap 9 of 20 in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. No 4 wide yet in this race, and that's a fantastic thing. Of course, these guys, they are the veterans of the series. They are the most experienced drivers, and they've been in a lot of 4 wide situations before. Every single one of these drivers have been involved in a crash here at Daytona, most likely, and they do not want that to happen here in this exhibition race. Hairgel Arvin Alonso will lead lap number 9. Next time by, it's going to be halfway already through the Mello Yello SmoothFest. And if this thing goes green all the way through, it's going to be a very fast race. Matt Tuck in the number 42. That's Chip Ganassi Racing there, owned by Fisher G. A newcomer to Napa Fan. He's going to be an owner here for Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. The Stewart Haas Racing Team is owned by Igor Barreto. Now, the Stewart Haas Racing Team, all 4 of their drivers are in this race. They are loaded, let me tell you that right now. Trey Bartow, Hairgel Arvin Alonso, Caleb Hoffman, and Zachary Fitzwater. 3 of those 4 guys have been in every single season of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Alonso is the least experienced guy, if you want to call it that. But even Alonso's a fantastic driver, a double-digit winner on Napa Fan, and that whole Stewart Haas Racing team is going to be strong this season with those drivers. Here comes Elijah Gordon in the number 5. It's been a little while since he's raced here on Napa Fan, but he's back in action. He's been letting his development drivers drive here. Emily Anderson, Ryan Gondillo have been driving in the past couple of series, but Elijah Gordon is back in action, driving this number 5 here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. John Art in the number 24. He won the 500th race on Napa Fan here about 2 months ago, and driving the same number car he won that big race. He's going to lead lap number 11 here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. I want to see some 4 wide. I want to see a caution for some stupid reason. I don't know why, but I just want to see these guys crash. I just want to spice it up, you know what I mean? I don't want to see these guys crash, but I want there to be a crash so that this thing isn't real short. That's kind of a stupid way to want a crash to happen. It really is. So let's just hope they don't crash for that sake. But as I say that, Caleb Hoffman, you know, this is his last season. He wants to win the championship, and while this is an exhibition race, he might be a little bit aggressive here on John Arndt. Number 14 of Caleb Hoffman, definitely one of the best drivers this series has ever seen. He's actually tied with Garrett Sonor, all-time winningest driver in the series with 6 wins. If Caleb Hoffman were to win a points race before Garrett Sonor this season, Caleb Hoffman would be the all-time winningest driver in this series. But his retirement season in that number 14, it's going to be a special season for him, and he might get this win here today in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. He's going to get to the inside of John Arndt for the lead. Zachary Fitzwater, his teammate, right behind him. Then it's Cameron Garlington and Matt Delio on the inside lane. But Hoffman to the inside of John Arndt. And the number 14 of Caleb Hoffman in his final ever Mello Yello SmoothFest is going to lead lap 13 here at Daytona. I'll try not to be too obnoxious when I'm talking about Caleb Hoffman's last season. I'll try not to be. Don't want to be like Rick Allen. Here comes Fitzwater with a run to the inside of Caleb Hoffman, and since we've had a long green flag run, these guys can pass a little bit easier with the tires wearing out and all that. And the outside lane not getting as good of a push. We might see some 4 wide here. Stuart Gretton with an opportunity to go to the inside of Matt Delio and Elijah Gordon. He might very well do so. But it looks like Matt Delio is going to block and avoid a 4 wide situation. Great job by the championship driver right there. The champion driver, I should say, of Matt Delio is theoretically the last champion that still races in this series. I mean, of course, he is the last champion that still races in this series. And if you really want to call it, he kind of is the defending champion. Sort of, but it is Tyler Selzman, but he's not defending his championship. So Matt Delio, the latest champion that drives this season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, he's going to get a run to the inside of Cameron Garlington and Zachary Fitzwater. And I just realized something. If we crash here very soon, that could end the race. It's how fast we're closing in on the finish of this one. This thing might go caution-free. And the big reason why it might go caution-free is because there are only 19 drivers in the field for today's race. But Matt Delio in the number 88 is going to lead lap 15, 5 laps to go in the Mello Yello SmoothFest here at the Daytona International Speedway. There goes Stuart Gratton to the inside of the 88 for the lead. Trey Bartow, Eric Almenhart, and of all the guys in the field, Almenhart might just be the most surprising because he hasn't really been in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series as consistently as these other drivers, but he drove in Season 5, and here he is in Season number 6 as well. And even though he's in a part-time ride, he might pull away with the victory for Premium Motorsports and Brad Stover. Right now, it's Trey Bartow driving for Igor Barretto's Stuart Haas Racing, who's going to take the lead with 4 laps to go. And there's our 4 wide. Ryan Madden, Cameron Garlington, Caleb Hoffman, and Blaine Keys. The first 4 wide we have seen here today, and it might very well end the race. If you remember Season 2, Trey Bartow came as close as you can get to winning this race without doing so. He just barely got beat out by Eric Powers that season. He might get a little bit of redemption here today. We're just going to have to see. Will these guys crash exiting turn number 4? My golly, they're probably going to do so. They're 4 wide ahead of these guys. Eric Almenhart, Blaine Keys also going 4 wide. Blaine Keys going for the win. Will they crash? No, they won't. And we're going to have another lap of action here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Trey Bartow is still out front in the number 4. Blaine Keys on this inside lane has never won anything in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series before, but he won the Aero Electric Pro Series Championship at the end of April, actually in the middle of April. So he's coming off of that championship. He knows how to get it done in these stock cars. And he's going to try to use all that momentum he gained from the Aero Electric Pro Series to possibly get this win here tonight. They are still 4 wide, and they're going to be 4 wide exiting turn number 4 yet again. They cannot keep on doing this without crashing. Ryan Madden, Cameron Garlington, and around goes Delio and Almenhart. And out of nowhere, Marty Johnson takes the lead. And Marty Johnson is going to win the Mello Yello SmoothFest here at Daytona. Where did he come from? A big crash, sort of big crash. Exiting turn number 4, Eric Almenhart, Matt Dalio went around. Caleb Hoffman, Stuart Gratton, Herja Larvin, Alonso involved. Noah Carr is all torn up in the number 3. And that's the way we should finish it. Out of nowhere, Marty Johnson's going to take the lead. This thing will not end under green. They're going to take the white flag under caution, and they're going to finish under caution here for the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Marty Johnson driving for Go Fast Racing. Michael Kelly, the owner of this single car team. Now, there are no points at stake for the owners or the drivers in this race. But how about the momentum for this single car team? They're going to be full-time this season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Marty Johnson's a great driver, and he just showed us that with this impressive victory here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Now, it's not official yet. Let me not get ahead of myself. We have had guys blow up on the last lap when we're under caution. So, don't count on it just yet. But most likely, Marty Johnson is going to grab the victory here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest for season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. And he came out of nowhere to win that thing. And anyways, let's go ahead and review the crash that happened to bring out the first and what will be the only caution here in the season 6 Chick-Fil-A Cup Series Mello Yello SmoothFest. Ryan Madden, Cameron Garlington, they were going 4 wide. They went up. They clipped the 88. Matt Dalio, the Season 4 champion. Eric Almenhart went around, and so did the number 37. And you see the 32. He was on that inside lane. He had the run already. He could have been taking the lead, and we did not focus on it because we were focusing on the 4 wide. But you see Noah Carr's, Herja Larvin, and Alonso get involved in this. Elijah Gordon and Reagan Whitlock might have avoided this one. And I'll say that's an avoidance. Great job by those guys avoiding contact there from the number 5, Elijah Gordon, 78 to Reagan Whitlock. Caleb Hoffman, his final Mello Yello SmoothFest isn't going to end too well, unfortunately. The number 14 with major damage to his race car. See, Garlington and Matt Tuck, they probably have a damage glitch right now, so I do not believe those guys were majorly involved. You see John Arnn in the outside wall. Matt Dalio went around, and so did Eric Almenhart in the number 15. And that's unfortunate, but hey, no points were on the line for this race. It's just an exhibition race, so not much to worry about for these guys. The season is still hasn't really started yet, because we still got the Daytona 500, and these championships are still on the line for all of these drivers who got involved in this crash. We're going to replay this one in real time for you guys. Garlington and Madden up into the number 88, and Marty Johnson had already been in the lead once this happened, so we'll go back and review and see how Marty Johnson got the lead. But you see all these guys get involved. Number 14, number 10, number 3, and a number 37. Just not their days here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest, unfortunately, but that does not mean they cannot win the Daytona 500 on Saturday morning. That is the big thing. That's the real deal, and that is what these guys are going to be racing for once it comes time for that big race on Saturday. We had a big race last Saturday. We're going to have another big race this Saturday. Tough break for those guys. Let's go ahead and review and see how Marty Johnson took the lead. Lap 18 of 20 here. You see this inside lane. It's a little ways behind Blaine Keys and Trey Bartow. But Tristan Allen, he's pushing this number 32 to the lead. Jesse Turner also there. They're all Fords. And they just get an impressive push to the inside of Blaine Keys and Trey Bartow. Nobody can get to him. And at the line, Marty Johnson, nobody alongside him, takes the lead, wins the race back to the line, and will most likely win this Mello Yello SmoothFest. Impressive run there for Marty Johnson and the Go Fast Racing team, Michael Kelly, the owner. And great way to start the season off for that single car team. They're probably going to be pretty strong here in season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Anyways, let's go ahead, take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back for the official finish of the Mello Yello SmoothFest in season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series.
Just get home from school, you got nothing to do? Well then, turn on your computer and listen to the NRLOA podcast, where we bring you up to date on all things all stock car racing and NASCAR, and on your local short track near you. We'll have things such as Modified and Mock Series Corner, followed by PCS Rated WRLA, and so much more.
I think Elliott Sadler can probably win the race.
It's the NRLOA podcast every Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, on youtube.com/MaxTheHedgehog77.
Back here at Daytona for the Mello Yello SmoothFest. And it's going to be going to Marty Johnson in the number 32, who won the race back to the line. He can thank Tristan Allen for the great push that he gave coming to the official finish of the race, the unofficial finish of the race, I should say. And Marty Johnson was able to win the race back to the line because of that push down the backstretch. And how about this for Marty Johnson? Drove part-time last year. He actually got a win last year as well, driving part-time. But driving full-time this season, he opens up Season 6 a winner. Marty Johnson wins the Mello Yello SmoothFest for Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. And a huge congratulations to Marty Johnson, Michael Kelly, the owner. That's a good way to start off the season for Go Fast Racing. But anyways, there are the official standings of the race, and everybody finished. How about that? Even after that crash, everybody was able to finish, but Marty Johnson finished first, and that's really all that mattered for this race. No points on the line for this one for either the drivers or the owners, and it's a fun way to start out the season every year, and I enjoy this Mello Yello SmoothFest. And because we get those veteran drivers to race against each other for one last time before we mix in the rookies, and Marty Johnson bested them all here at Daytona under the lights to grab the win in the Mello Yello SmoothFest for Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Tristan Allen, Trey Bartow, Blaine Keys, the highest Chevy driver, Jesse Turner, Ryan Madden, who was actually in that 4-wide situation. He ended up finishing 6th. Garrett Tenor, Zachary Fitzwater, Reagan Willock, and Elijah Gordon round out the top 10 here at Daytona. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. And on Wednesday, we have Daytona 500 qualifying, who will grab the pole position for the Great American Race in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Friday, it's the Mello Yello Duel. We got the qualifying races for the Daytona 500. And Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, it is the Great American Race for the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series at Daytona 500. And 1 week off of that Indianapolis 250, we're going to have another huge race, and we're going to make more history. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Of course, it was not a points race here at the Daytona International Speedway, so there are no points yet for the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. But still, congratulations to Marty Johnson for getting the win. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.